Powered by Riverside FM.
All right, so for this Browns Backers interview, please help me welcome our friends from out west holding down the peak. Pikes Peak, that is, the president of the Pikes Peak Browns Backers, Erin. Erin, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. We're coming off a win against the Steelers,
Big
so you
win.
can't really ask for more, right?
Hell yeah.
No, that was phenomenal. And it was a snow game, and we just had a great time watching that. It was unbelievable. And the videos of the boys afterwards just playing so well and all those great plays. It was awesome.
Hell yes. And so before we get into the football side of things, tell us a little bit about your chapter out there and what you guys have going on.
Sure. Pikes Peak Browns Backers has been a club for about 32 years now. This is my second year as president. Kevin Sabins ran things for right around 30 years before me. We have a lot of, we hang out at Single Barrel Bar and Grill out on Powers and Stetson Hills for anybody local that's listening to this. We have a great time. The owners there really support us. They've donated to all of our causes. They even donated a couple of tickets to the Browns Broncos games this year and last year. They have their vendors when they do the promos with the beer vendors, especially during this time of year. They save them all for us, so it's fantastic. They do a great job in taking care of us, and I hope we do a great job in taking care of them. And then like a lot of other clubs, we do a lot of donations. We're a 501c3, so we are an official nonprofit. We donate to the Browns Foundation every year. We do a dog food drive. We did 720 pounds of dog food this year. We donated to Street Pets, which is a local nonprofit that helps homeless people who have pets. So the food that we donate, they give away to the homeless to help feed their pets so that they still will eat their food. Because if they don't have pet food, they give their animals all of their food. And then they also do vaccinations and things like that, I think once a month locally. We did Marion House for our Jim's Brewster Senior donation this year. That was $1,000 to them. Our other annual one coming up is the December 8th game, which is our toy and bike drive for the Bob Talamasi Foundation. And then we had some visitors this year, which was really cool. I don't know what anybody knows about Colorado Springs, but we have the Fallen Firefighters Memorial here in September. So firefighters from all over the country come out and honor those that have passed. And we happen to have a few guests this year that wanted to come watch the game with us after the event. So we were able to donate $800 to the International Association of Firefighters in memory of the 3 fallen Ohio firefighters from the Ohio Association of Professional Firefighters this year.
Nice. All great causes. I mean, it's phenomenal just hearing the different places where the money that you guys gather through your charity work, where that's going to, and kind of who's affected locally and back here in Cleveland through the Cleveland Browns Foundation.
I was just going to say, I love the idea of we've talked to obviously a lot of Browns Backers clubs, and we hear about the various food drives and things. We're doing a dog food drive.
Yeah, I like that.
That's unique. That's pretty neat. Second, Erin. Major props to you because you've seen the show before. She came locked and loaded with all of her charities and just rattled them off, which I love.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I like that. It's making my job so easy. It's like I don't even have to interview you. You interview yourself.
Yeah.
We interview you now.
Sorry.
No, but so the charity events are fantastic. And a couple other things. I know you mentioned like 30 years ago or something like that when you were talking about past presidents, things like that. What was I missed it when you said it. What year were you guys established?
I believe it was either 92 or 93 that we were established. We officially became a 501c3 in December of 93. But actually, it started with a bunch of guys in the mid-'80s who would get together around town. And then they all kind of started to find each other and meet together. And in the early 90s is when it all kind of really came together. And we joined Browns Backers Worldwide and everything else and became official chapter.
Nice. And I just thought as soon as you said 30 years, I was like, man, here's another one. Some of these Browns Backers clubs have been going on
forever,
for so long, far longer than the Browns Backers Worldwide became an official organization. And it's just awesome hearing kind of everybody's stories and where everybody comes from. How did you yourself become a Browns fan?
Born and raised. I'm originally from Parma, Ohio.
Nice.
Yep. When I was a kid, my parents, we would go freeze at Muni and have our hot chocolate wrapped in blankets watching those snow games. But yeah, my parents are huge fans. And so that's just, I was born into it, and I love it. I couldn't ask for a better group of people, a better organization. We've had a lot of rough years, but we're diehard fans for a reason. So we're here to support the boys.
Absolutely. Being from Parma, you guys Polish?
I'm not. I'm Irish. But I do love pierogies.
See, it's one or the other. My whole family's Polish, and and that's where my grandma and everybody else was.
Are you trying to start a race war here? What's going on?
Nah.
How long have you been out in Colorado then?
I've been out here 19 years. I actually moved out to work for a minor league baseball team. So,
oh wow,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Fun,
cool. And so, onto the football side of things now. I mean, I just want to ask you, like, obviously we're coming fresh off of the Steelers win,
right?
Probably the high point of the season so far, which is saying something because they beat the Ravens too. But how did everybody over there? How'd the crowd react at the viewing location where you guys are at?
I mean, they were the cardiac kids for a reason. I still feel like they are today because, we were winning that game and everybody was pumped and we were up and we're like, oh my God, are we actually going to pull this off in the snow? And then the Steelers came back and they pulled ahead and then we all were like, oh, did we just Browns it up?
I like how Browns is a verb. It's like
I mean, I feel like it kind of is. And then when things started turning around and Chubb and Winston just kind of connected and we got that final touchdown and won, like we all lost our minds. I didn't really have much of a voice on Monday. There were definitely a lot of, we do member raffles. We call them our blue tickets. It's a lot of yelling for those and people get very excited. We were able to give a lot of those away with all the excitement of that game. So,
nice.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and I mean that last touchdown by Jameis just was like something out of a movie. Like the way he just did no regard for his own body, dove in there and landed like on his head and rolled over. And
I love that it's already become like a classic NFL film.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Hard Knocks crew was there and they captured the whole thing in glorious 4K. So I've been seeing that all over the internet all week. It's just a great shot of the snow coming down and you can literally see Jameis's eyes, like where he's going with the ball.
Spliced in, was it Nathan Zagura on who's the guy? It's not Jim. Who replaced Jim Donovan on the call?
I can't think of the guy's name. I mean, Zagura is one of them, but I can't.
We'll get used to it. It's new. We're all used to Jim Donovan. We'll get used to it. Rose,
yeah. Chris Rose.
I don't know, but either way, I seen it. What you're talking about is spliced in, like his commentary spliced in with Jameis actually running it in. So it's pretty awesome to see. But do you think that gives us any momentum, Erin?
I would love to see momentum, especially being in Colorado. We always want to beat the Broncos, and there's definitely a lot of history there for sure. And so I would like to say that we're going to roll into that game with a ton of momentum and ready to go, but the Broncos just had a good couple games too. So I'm still rooting for our boys. I'm still saying we pull this off, but who knows?
Yeah.
So what is the temperature out there with the Broncos? I mean, it seems like they've had maybe a better start than was anticipated out there. What are you hearing out there around the team?
I have a bunch of Broncos fans, or friends that are fans, and they're all pumped because they've really the game against the Chiefs, which they almost pulled out and lost there at the last final minutes of it. This past yesterday's game that they pulled out against the Raiders. And, I think they're pretty pumped. It's been a good season for them, and hopefully we can add another loss to that column, though.
Yeah, for sure. So, and being out there and kind of hearing about the team, Bo Nix is kind of a hot topic on our show today, or will be when we get into the game preview. But is he actually good? Like, is that what I'm hearing? I'm hearing he's actually pretty good.
I feel like he's coming together. He's getting it together. He's figuring it out. I think he definitely had a rough start in the beginning, for sure. But unfortunately, I think that he is starting to figure things out and make it more of a game.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Is it just sad that every time a franchise gets a young quarterback that plays well, and we just think about all the quarterbacks that we've had that don't play well?
So many quarterbacks.
And then you compare them, and you're like, it's Bo Nix.
Why is Bo Nix good in Denver, but none of our quarterbacks ever pan out?
I don't know. So, with all that being said, though, Erin, I mean, what are your thoughts on the game against the Broncos? How do you think this thing's going to unfold? And finish this thing off with a score prediction, because we got to get a score prediction from you.
Oh, I didn't. That is the one thing I didn't plan for or think about in advance. I'd like to say,
start thinking now.
Notes. I'd like to say we're going to win. I feel like it's going to be at least a game with our momentum going into it. I'm going to say 24-21 us.
Oh, nice. I like that. I hope we get another win. I hope it's 24. I hope we score above 20 points.
I just hope we score 20 points. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
I know that's a reach, but
what is the weather tend to do this time of year out there? I mean, what do you think we're in store for in terms of just the conditions?
It's really hit or miss because it was 70 a couple days ago. It snowed this morning. It's supposed to snow Wednesday. I'm not sure what Monday is supposed to be, but it definitely gets chilly. And Mile High really is a mile high, and it's even colder up there, especially if you're in those nosebleed seats. So
you guys are like Northeast Ohio in the west.
Well, it's just like I remember the last time I was in Denver. It was just like you're saying. Like we got in, and like for 2 days it was like 75 degrees and sunny, and then like we woke up one morning to go to like a work conference, and there was like a foot of snow on the ground, and I was like, "What? Where am I right now?"
Yeah, yeah. Another thing I wanted to ask you, Erin, is just with the game being out there, I know there's probably all the Browns fans that live out there in Colorado are just rearing to go here. So is there any events going on? Are you guys having a watch parties or anything else going on around that area?
I know Mile High is doing some Mile High Browns Backers are doing a whole weekend of it. I feel like they've got stuff Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. If I'm wrong,
that's the Backers Bash, I think is what they call it, like whatever the official one for the week is.
Mm-hmm. They're doing some big things up there. We're not taking a bus, sadly, this year, but we do have a good amount of folks that are going up. I'm pretty sure myself included, to go up and freeze and cheer on the boys. But nice. We'll also have anybody that doesn't want to drive and sit for 3-4 hours in the cold up in Denver is welcome to come hang out with our Pikes Peak Browns Backers at Single Barrel Bar and Grill. We'll be there starting probably like 4:30, 5 o'clock since it's a Monday game, and plan on having a great time.
Who's holding down the fort since El Presidente will be up at the game?
We have a great group of board members.
I guess it's La Presidente, actually.
Whatever works. I'm not worried about it. A bunch of our other board members will be there. So Kevin, who was the president last year, Joe, who was our VP, may make an appearance. Jessica, Rich, who is our secretary. We'll have Josh Schrader, Brian Moyer, Diane Brewster, all of those amazing folks. Most of them should be there. And then I know some of our longtime fans and diehards are there. So it'll be a good time.
Shout out to those folks. Erin gets to do whatever she wants, all due to what they do.
That's right.
I got to give them credit. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They will be well represented.
Well, it is a good thing, too, because if people don't understand, there's a full team behind. Obviously, we're interviewing the presidents and everything, but there's a full team that goes into organizing these Browns Backers organizations, each chapter and everything that they do week in and week out.
And those are volunteer gigs.
Yeah, volunteers. Let's be clear there.
Even president, we're all volunteers. We're just out here having a good time and just want to make sure everybody else can come out and enjoy the game and have a little piece of Cleveland here in Colorado.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
One last question for you, Erin. If there's Browns fans out there somewhere, do you have anything to say to them on why they should join a Browns Backers chapter?
The reason they should join a Browns Backers chapter, first of all, it's an amazing question. The reason why is, especially if you're not in Ohio, it's a great way to watch the game and still feel like you're there. It feels like you're at home. You're cheering with a bunch of people that have, obviously we're all from different walks of life, but we're all there cheering for the same team. We all understand and commiserate with the highs and the lows. And there've been a lot of lows, but we're there to support each other and, do touchdown shots when they come up and really just kind of support the team. Hey, touchdown shots, they make things work sometimes. We have a good time. And I think that it's a great way to just feel like you're back home, no matter how far you are.
Nice. Yep. And the fact that the Browns Backers are literally everywhere. We talk about it all the time. There's 300 and some different chapters spread across the world, definitely across the nation and into many, many other countries as well. So
we just talked to Canada last week.
Yeah, we did. So if you don't live in Cleveland, but you're a Browns fan, make sure, and even if you do live in Cleveland and you're a Browns fan, make sure you're out there joining your local Browns Backers chapter and going and watching the game with a bunch of diehard fans. So
absolutely.
Erin, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time. And hopefully we can make our way out to Colorado and meet you sometime soon.
Well, if you guys ever come out, would love to see you. Or if you're ever in, I think you guys are at the President's Summit sometimes, so I'll have to catch up with you guys there.
Absolutely. Sure. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Guys. We're the Pikes Peak Browns Backers, and you're listening to Burning River Sportscast. Go Browns!